Do you feel like you are walking on eggshells constantly? You are not alone, and I want to help you with that. I'm Michelle, mom the manager, parenting coach, and child life specialist with over 2 decades of experience in pediatric medical and mental health. Walking on eggshells. What does that say to your child? What it says is your behavior is working. What it says to the family members and children around this child is this behavior works. I've had lots of parents say, my other kids are now learning that about this behavior. They are now acting like this child that is struggling. What they're learning is when I listen, when I behave, maybe I get ignored, or parents think this is what is supposed to be happening. And then this kid shuts down our lives. They're aggressive, they do certain things, and they get all the attention. And then we don't do the things that we're supposed to be doing, but the child is getting all the attention. This child is getting what they want. So that's where you have the control. You cannot change your child. You can only change how you respond. The message in the home should be that your emotions are valid. I can see you, I can hear you. It doesn't mean that this behavior is okay. So that's what we want to teach them, is that emotions are okay, but how you're responding is not. And if you have any questions or if this resonates with you, please let me know below. What strategies have you tried? And do you feel like it just doesn't work? Well, that sometimes is what I deal with, where you've got a strong-willed child, you've got a child that is pushing boundaries, you've got maybe a parent that is just exhausted, and another parent that is saying enough is enough, and then we've got clashing opinions. The child is going to continue to push boundaries, and then it gets confusing because I don't quite know what to expect. Can you relate to that? Let me know if that's something that happens in your home. When parents are not on the same page, that really sends a confusing message. And for boundary pushing kids, that is definitely going to give them the motivation to keep going. Even if it was just one time they got what they wanted, they learned that. So we want to give the message to this child, behavior needs to shift. So you can do all the positive stuff. Notice when they're doing well, reward charts, planning ahead, all those things. But you may have a kid that easily melts down when they hear no. So what happens to you? And how do you respond? When you say no to this child, do you then say, fine, have this thing because I want you to be quiet, or we have to get out of the house, so fine, you can have your tablet even though I said no? Do you feel like you're giving in? When you're giving in, when you're noticing that you're avoiding certain commands or following through or being consistent because the behavior is running the household, the meltdowns happen, the aggression might happen, and then it just sets the whole night off. This is a constant concern for my clients, especially when I have parents coming together and they have two different styles. One parent is too permissive, then the other parent comes in as the enforcer, and it doesn't feel good for either parent because you don't feel on the same page, and the child then learns that this is what's going to work. So instead, the message needs to be, this behavior is not okay. So what's going to happen if they do the behavior? Have some house rules. And I'll link a few of my pre-made house rule downloadables. You can print them off. Being clear with what the expectations are. What do I want you to do in the home? And if you do not do those things, then what will happen? What are the consequences? And you have to follow through. Not giving them tons and tons of chances. Because again, if you say that's your fifth and final chance, Well, how about I push for one more? Because yesterday I got six chances. Then you actually got tired. You forgot to follow through with the consequence. So it doesn't really matter. You can yell and scream, and I will just continue doing what I'm doing because I want what I want. I'm a black and white thinker. I'm super emotional and sensitive, so I might get a little more passionate. You see more of the emotion. You might see that aggression because when you do set a boundary, that child is going to be like, how dare you? This is not the way it works. I need to get louder and I cannot handle this. That's because they've been accommodated. So the more that you do this, this can continue on into teen years and then it'll affect their adult years. Life is not black and white. There's a lot of gray in life. So when you accommodate, when you give in to behavior, that's where the child doesn't learn how to deal with disappointment or not getting what they want. So you want to be calm and kind when you set these firm expectations and boundaries. Have clear expectations. And if the child doesn't follow through, then what will happen? Consequences can be many things. A lot of people go to taking electronics away, but it can be cleaning. Listen, I have my kids cleaning. If they had to pick, you can choose. You can have a timeout, which is supposed to be for calming down, not for sticking your nose in the corner and for being lectured. It's to calm down. Some children do not know how to calm down, but you can give a choice. You can calm down over here and have a timeout, step away, I'm not paying attention to the behavior, or you can clean up 15 things in the playroom, or you can you can, I don't know, rake some leaves or take the recycling out. Simple things that they know how to do. They might have a bit of a meltdown about, but you just follow through. You do this, and then you can go back to having some fun. The other thing with aggression and hurting people and swearing or hitting their siblings, that is a non-negotiable. You can't just say, don't do that, and then there's no consequence. How are they going to learn? How can they build that responsibility and that accountability for their behavior? And just having them apologize and get that, I don't care, whatever, sorry, that's not good enough. So instead, in the moment, separate them, remind them that this is not okay, and then eventually you can follow through with that consequence because some kids are going to really push boundaries. So if you enforce that consequence, they may push boundaries some more. So it will happen, but if it doesn't happen in that moment, then take a moment to calm down, wait until they're calm. Usually parents will say, I've got that Jekyll and Hyde child that, one moment they're really angry and the next minute they feel really bad. Okay, so this is where you can validate that and say, yep, you were impulsive. Was that a good choice? Wasn't a good choice. What could you have done instead? Okay, so what are you choosing? This consequence or this consequence? And on top of that, I want you to write a card. I want you to call your friend to apologize, whatever it is. The apology is not the consequence. I hope that works for you. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I am here for you. And also, I have some great on-demand parenting programs, less opposition, more cooperation. Check out the links below. Now is the time to make change. It's never too late. So let's get started together. I'm here to support you in your parenting journey.